My name is Ryan Ferg, and I will be doing a presentation on President Trump and the North Korean nuclear situation. Due to the complicated nature of North Korea and their nuclear history, there's quite a bit of background information. This information starts in 1985 when North Korea signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. This is where they agreed upon not starting on creating nuclear weapons/energy. And this all went well for about 8 years until 1993, when there was supposed to be a site inspection by the International Atomic Energy Agency. And when they demanded to look at two potential waste sites, North Korea reacted very poorly and slammed the idea down and was actually willing to leave the treaty at the time. But instead, they signed a different deal with the United States, and all was again well until 2002, when there was the discovery of secret nukes. At the time, Bush called North Korea evil, and originally that looked bad, but a couple months later, they did find these nukes, and as a result of this, North Korea completely left the treaty signed in 1945. In 2005, there was a second agreement that happened. They said they would end their nuclear programs in return for energy assistance by Japan, the United States, and China. And that went well originally, but in 2006, the testing began again. This time, weapon testing, and they were very open about it. And they claimed that they have tested their first nuke. Again, this is in 2006. In 2007, a deal is agreed upon where North Korea will shut down a $4 million nuclear facility. This is viewed as a big win for the United States until 2009, where another test occurred, even though they weren't supposed to have a facility. But the UN, as a result of this, does impose sanctions on North Korea. In 2012, then, North Korea agrees to discontinue its production of long range missiles, including nuclear, in exchange for food. This is looked on as a great move from the North Korean standpoint, and a win for the United States, and a win for democracy. And this is until next year in 2013, when, unsurprisingly to anyone, they were still continuing tests. And in 2015, the United States is now a target for North Korea, like a true target, because they have missiles with the range capacity to hit the United States. Um, then in 2016, hydrogen bomb tests begin for North Korea. This is a scare. This is when we really start to see the North Korean scare escalate. And in 2017, we do deploy ships that can detect for long-range missiles near the North Korean country. Then this puts us to today in 2018 and 2019, where we see the summits occurring, and Trump is attempting for a peaceful resolution, but we have already seen one summit fail, and as recently as November 19th, it looks like another one might have failed. Since the end of 2019, we haven't seen much progress in nuclear deal between Trump and North Korea, but as of recent, Kim Jong-un has fallen under illness, which does raise concerns or possible hope, depending on how you view it, for the future of Trump-North Korean nuclear deals. There has been progress from North Korea, though, that the nuclear regime will move on with whoever is the next leader of North Korea. This could again be good or bad, and creates a whole new kind of struggle possibly for Trump. He will then have to renegotiate everything that has happened with a new leader. This could be good, this could be bad. It's very unknown right now. And this is when we get to the Trump negotiation part of the presentation. And it starts out with, like many of Trump's things do, Twitter. He attacked Kim Jong-un on Twitter, calling him Little Rocket Man, and somehow out of that, we got the countries talking, and they agreed upon a Trump summit and historic visit. He was the first president to go to North Korea while still in office. Jimmy Carter and Clinton eventually did afterwards, but he was the first in office to do it. The first summit went okay. Trump had a pull out of the second one, but eventually they rescheduled, and he went to the second summit, and it ended really poorly. It ended early, way earlier than expected, and no deal was put in place. And this lingered for a couple more months until, of recent, North Korea has claimed they've lost interest in making a deal, and now it looks like a loss for Trump and his the party as a whole. Media reception of the summits were relatively split. CNN saw it as a political win for Trump and a historic visit, and a great mark on international politics for Trump. Republicans seemed pretty indifferent. Fox News wasn't saying too much. The Republicans as a whole were split, and independent media, so like Twitter, Facebook, and smaller news sources, again was split. They looked at it as butting up with communism in some cases. Others looked at it in the CNN view as this is great, we're making progress towards a more democratic North Korea. But as a whole, North Korea viewed this as a huge win from what was allowed to leak. They viewed it as them becoming more of a air quote democratic nation, and this viewed it as whole as a positive thing for the country, even though no deal was made. China stayed out of the summit for the most part. They publicly supported peace and wanted to see a negotiation happen, but China and North Korea are knowingly close allies. And as of recent, the discussions have fallen through, and there's speculation this is because of China. Due to China and North Korea being so close, there is speculation that China wanted these to fall through and put more pressure on a Trump presidency and overall benefit China and get this trade war more over with. Japan is openly fearful of North Korea, especially after North Korea has tested weapons near the island of Japan, and they do look for the United States for help. President Trump and Minister Abe have talked and have publicly said that they will respond against North Korea together. They didn't give much more detail than that, but it is again known that Japan has their own fears of North Korea, especially because they don't have a navy or an army or an air force to really respond to any terroristic threats from North Korea. South Korea is in a similar situation to Japan, but slightly more escalated. South Korea is direct neighbors with North Korea, and North Korea has threatened them in the past. The capital of South Korea, Seoul, is also very close to the border, which poses a big threat for South Korea. South Korea is primed to go nuclear and seemingly would like to, and has talked to the United States about such things, but Trump has ended talks of recent, and we're kind of in a dead spot right now and just waiting to see what happens, especially after today, November 19th, when North Korea has ended their talks with the United States. So this could be a potential boiling point for all of these countries, including Japan, China, North Korea, South Korea, and the United States.